Welcome to the Generation Why Not podcast with Ruth Klein, a 6-time best-selling author, creative brand strategist, and book coach for small businesses, entrepreneurs, authors, mompreneurs, and professionals today. She is the president of the award-winning firm Expert Celebrity Branding, and the Wall Street Journal calls her the marketing maven. This podcast will be interviewing this generation, those who are doing things differently because of their perceptual shift of what success looks like, and who are driven by attitude, not age. They know anything is possible, and you'll hear how this generation feels the fear and keeps going anyway to achieve their goals and dreams, whether they be in business, sports, the arts, or lifestyle.
Welcome to Generation Why Not. I'm your host, Ruth Klein. Generation Why Not really represents a growing generation, and we're driven by attitude rather than age. And this generation is really ready to reach their dreams and goals in business and in life. And they're doing things differently because of their perceptual shift of what success looks like. They are age and gender blind. They go against conventional wisdom many times. And as a result, they know that anything is possible for anyone at any age. And I love the fact that Generation Why Not, we feel the fear, but we keep going anyway to achieve goals and dreams. Again, whether it's in business, in life, sports, or the arts. Today, I have a dear friend and colleague that I have known for many years, and I have just had the pleasure of watching her go from one very, very talented field into another talented field. Her name is Venus DeMarco, and Venus has never met a stranger. And within usually the first 5 minutes of meeting her, you'll understand why. She draws you in with her engaging questions, and she has a wonderful smile, a vivacious personality, and you immediately feel like you've known her for years. Venus DeMarco is an author. She's a national speaker and cooking educator who currently resides in Florida and feels at home in Austin, Texas. I'm so excited because I'm going to see Venus on my book tour this year. So I'm really excited about that. Venus's mission is simple. She wants to get people back into the kitchen, communing with friends and family and making healthy and nourishing meals. And her cookbook is called My Healing Kitchen. And she dreams of launching a plant-based cooking show to millions around the globe. I understand she also has a killer vegan cheesecake recipe, which I may or may not share. Vina lives her mission, and when she isn't creating magic in the kitchen, you'll find her spending time outdoors with close friends and family, or possibly paddleboarding with her adopted dog and sidekick, might I add, Stella. Venus, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. I miss you. You're such a great friend, and we have known each other a long time.
Yeah,
a long time.
A long time. You know, I'm going to say 25 years, Venus, possibly more.
Oh, I think more.
Yeah.
It just goes by so fast.
It really does. It really does. It's hard to believe is what this is all about. Well, I'm just so pleased that you are here and our listeners are going to receive some excellent, not only information, but the way you see the world. You definitely are part of Generation Why Not. I don't know many things that you have done like everybody else does, but rather you search out the answers, you modify it, you do what you feel makes sense, and you help others along the way. And I know I first met you when you were a facialist.
Yes, I was an esthetician. I was your esthetician.
That you sure were. And I'll tell you, I trusted you over a skin doctor, over a dermatologist, any day of the week. any day of the week. I just wish I had known about you when I had a bad case of acne in high school, but I didn't get to you until years later. But it was.
Hey, but you got
amazing.
to me.
I did get to you. I did. So let me ask you, how did you become an expert with healthy cooking and eating, and how did that all start?
Ruth, it was a couple ways, but the most life-changing thing that happened to me was becoming a cancer overcomer. And I did that without chemo, radiation, or surgery. And I wrote a book called Fearless about my story because I just couldn't do it. I had stage 3, 9-centimeter tumor with 5 tumors rotating around it. The first biopsy caused some spillage into some lymph nodes, but I just knew in my heart that I could not do a double mastectomy. I could not have radiation. I could not have chemo. I knew enough about nutrition, especially because I had been in the aesthetic world for so long. Mm-hmm. And I come from that old school esthetician where we learned first inside, then outside. And I saw how I could take cystic acne and heal it by just getting rid of the inflammation through diet and supplements. And for instance, I would just take these kids off dairy. This is back in the 80s and 90s, and put them on certain herbs and sugars. I would take them off. We didn't even really know so much about gluten back then, but just taking them off dairy was amazing. So then when I got this diagnosis, I knew that everything starts with inflammation. So I had to just step back, know what I knew about nutrition, and just go for it. And then I had to take it further than just the physical just food and all of that. We had to get into, I had to get into the physical, the mind and the spirit. And so then the cooking part came natural. I'm Italian. I've known how to cook since I probably came out of the womb.
With some have some lasagna.
Yeah, no, really. My dad was in the service, and we were in Japan, and I was there from kindergarten, first and second grade. And in second grade, my parents said they didn't know where I was, and they went in the kitchen, and they were scared because I had turned the oven on and everything. Don't ask me how. I made this pound cake with 2 sticks of butter. I put flour, sugar, all these things, and stuck it in the pan and stuck it in the oven. And of course, that was probably one of the heaviest pound cakes I've ever eaten, but I just did it. So the cooking part came natural, and I just started to prepare food without animal products and make it lots of highly nutritional foods such as greens. I love greens. And I found, I do. And I find that when you're cooking and you're doing a cooking class, you can talk to anybody about anything because they're not leaving because they want the food.
Right, exactly. They want to hang out and eat.
Because nobody really wants to talk about cancer, but we want to talk about prevention of it. Prevention. And part of that is your food, but also when I'm doing food, I can talk to them a little bit about the journey and some of the funny parts of that journey. It wasn't horrific. There were some really funny parts.
Like what? So, share a funny part with us.
I went on a crazy journey. The book Fearless is not a cancer book such as woe is me. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer and I did this protocol. I became a human guinea pig and went on this crazy journey. I wanted to know what was good, bad, and ugly, even in the natural world, right? So, this one lady, for instance, just kept holding a crystal over my boob, and it was circling and circling and circling. And I was like, well, is her arm going to fall off in about an hour? Because she really thought that crystal was going to pull that tumor out. And I'm like, hey, you can put the crystal down now, but thank you. I let people do the craziest things to me. And back then, remember, that was almost 11 years ago. April will be 11 years. And not a lot of people were going the natural route, and the ones that were stayed hidden because we got scrutinized. You have no idea. Most people, because I was in Austin, Texas, were standing behind me, but there were people who left me, who didn't want to have anything to do with me. They got angry with me. So, and other people called me a liar. So, you know, you had to be bold.
And bold is definitely part of your personality, for sure. So what you're saying is you were open to trying all these modalities, some of which were wacky, some of which were real. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. And I knew certain things weren't going to work, but I was writing a book. So I went in and did them, and I wanted to see, you know, what are people saying to people in this natural world? The majority of them, and the doctor that I worked with, Dr. Stephen Hines, he was amazing. But some of these people just everybody wants to be the one that heals you, but that isn't really how this works. So
I love that. So talk to me about foods and how, you know, I know that there's so much now. I'm even looking into this keto way of eating. And then most recently, I read something where the originator or the founder of the South Beach diet, even he found out that the South Beach diet doesn't work sustainably. And so now he's suggesting a combination keto and South Beach. So what can you say about what these different lifestyle foods are, and what's yours? Are we going to call it the Venus DeMarco method?
You know, I just believe in eating real food. And I'm, of course, a plant-based person. And I have been, which means I don't eat anything with a face or anything that poops. And
I'll remember that.
Yeah. So when I was diagnosed, I went to the top people for food. And in all of the places that treated cancer, it was never high fat. It was no sugar, of course, but it was always green juices, greens, sprouts, microgreens, lots of things that alkalize the body and help to detox the body. I think there are people who I cannot do the keto. I can't handle that much fat. It does not work with my body. I find a lot of people postmenopausal. It doesn't necessarily work for long term. It's all how you do it. You know, if you do the keto completely right and do more vegetables and not maybe as much fat, I see it work better for women. I think I like more of a balance. But I have clients that I do keto vegan for. I have clients that I do low fat. I have clients that I do no oil. Then I have clients that just want to get on a healthy eating plan. And sometimes when you don't overthink it as much, it's easier to sustain it. You know, when you just have a balance of things. So everybody's body works a little different. I believe everybody can do plant-based. Some of it, I need more protein because I'm very outdoorsy and I love to work out. So I need more protein, but I don't need it in the way of animals. And really nobody in this country has ever died from a lack of protein. That is a fallacy. You know, a lot of people just eat junk food, even vegans. They eat a junk food vegan diet. You know, there's healthy people in all aspects of lifestyle, but they can take a lifestyle and make it a junk food lifestyle.
You know, it's interesting what you just said. I remember a friend of mine who was vegan and she was overweight. I used to always wonder how that's possible, but I didn't realize that, you know, there are a lot of high caloric things that say vegan that might not be good. But let me ask you, you know, I need protein. I rarely eat meat, but once in a while I'll have a steak, and I have to tell you, I feel I have so much energy the next day. And normally I eat, you know, turkey and chicken and fish. So what are plant proteins that can be sustained like meat?
I don't think it's the protein that you're lacking. I think it's the iron. Because you have to understand fish and chicken and turkey do not have high iron content. Red beef does. So so what's probably happening is if I was to look at your plan and to put you on a good eating plan, I would know, just because I also know you, that you need more blood building foods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need extra B12. You probably need some stuff for the gut. And this is a simple trick. Whenever you eat greens, put some lemon on it, and the lemon helps break it down, and you absorb the iron from all the greens.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there are little tricks to get more iron out of your food. Also, never drink coffee after a meal because it will take the iron out. So it's nice to drink coffee in the morning, first thing maybe, but not after a meal. It actually will leach the iron out from the food. So
that's amazing.
And then so I would put someone like you who feels that good after a steak on a lot of blood building foods. And that would be a lot of the beets, lots and lots of greens, And I do a lot of tempeh. I do I do nuts, but not large amounts of them. But you have to sprout. You need to soak and sprout them, just like beans. I always soak them and sprout them, and then I cook them in a pressure cooker if I don't soak and sprout them. So there's so many ways to get the nutrients out of your food, and I also supplement with things that I need, like B12, vegan omegas. I always make sure I get minerals, lots and lots of seaweeds and superfoods for iodine. So, you just have to know. That's all. Just like a lot of meat eaters are very low in phytonutrients and micronutrients because they're not getting enough greens. So the thing is, the mainstay of everybody's diet, whether if you're a meat eater or a vegan, is greens. Lots and lots of veggies.
The greens. Yeah. What I'm hearing, what is amazing that I never really put together before with you, Venus, is that not only have you created some incredible food concoctions and recipes that taste delicious, I never realized the level of the passion, intensity, and education that you have with the health piece, the nutritional piece. Really quite a combo. So many cooks, and it's good, might be healthy, but not at the level where your understanding is. That's quite huge, really.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really. And there are nutritionists who don't know how to make the food. And then there are people who make great food or healthier food that really don't know the nutritional piece behind it as deeply as you do. So that is really phenomenal. And now it makes even more sense to me that you were truly able and continue to work to incorporate it into your world and your life and in others, truly using food as medicine, truly.
Oh, yes. Once you love the way you feel when you eat healthy, it's really hard not to. Everybody's going to have some junk food, whether it's vegan or whatever. My junk food is probably super, super healthy compared to the way most people eat. But I like to feel good. I have a long life ahead of me, and I got a lot to do. I don't have time to feel bad.
I love that. That is so Generation Why Not, right? It doesn't matter if you're in your 30s or 50s or 60s or 70s. That's the feeling. That's the perception. We've got a long life ahead. There's not a lot of time to waste. So let's get going. I love that. So let me ask you, if there were 3 things you would want to tell our audience that they could start right away to combine healthy eating and maybe the foods that go with it, what might that be?
How you start your day off is really important. And I'll give you an example. My neighbor has I'm not going to say a lot, except for he was not the healthiest of people. So I knew that I could only give him a few things, because if I overwhelmed him, then nothing would happen. So
Correct.
all I had him do every morning, instead of toast and who knows what else, I just had him, he has fatty liver, and I made sure I gave him recipes for smoothies that help with fatty liver. And I gave him some nutritional supplements for the liver to, to detox the liver at both levels. There's 1 and 2. He started doing this smoothie every day, and there were so many greens and some vegetables in it, and ground flaxseed and all this other stuff. He has been so consistent. He cannot believe, even his friends are going, "You're looking so much better," just with one thing. One thing besides water all day and lemon water for his liver. But I also begged him to not drink during the week. He can only have some wine on the weekends, and he did it. And it's made such a big difference. So besides that, we start our day out right, because too much sugar, and I'm not talking dates and fruit and stuff like that. I am literally talking, nobody should eat sweets, pastries, things like this in the morning. It will knock your blood sugar off, and you'll be out of whack all day. So lots of fiber, lots of greens in the morning, even oatmeal. Now, things like this that will help you start your day and move it. You got to move in the morning. I get up really early, work out at 6 o'clock. So it's over. I still have to walk my dog, all these things. But I think something has really changed in our society, and we have to get back to basics. We really do. We have to start to fellowship with other humans, and people are fellowshipping with their phones and their devices, and nobody's preparing food anymore. Ruth, when we were in our 20s, we automatically knew how to make dinner. I meet people now that don't even know how to boil an egg.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to believe. It is hard to believe. It's interesting. I mean, you could get me going on this. I love technology. I really, really do. And It does save a lot of time. However, on the flip side of that, it's like anything else. If you don't learn how to manage it, it can control you. And I think what you're alluding to is exactly that. Where that basics is basically people, humans, eating healthy foods, basic foods. I mean, basic foods, I'm not a gourmet chef, not even close to it. Although
you don't have to be.
Right. I'm certainly not. But I've always cooked meals that don't take a long time, and they don't have sauces, and they don't have any of that fancy stuff. But you know what? My family and friends love the food I make, and so
of course they do.
Yeah. It's so interesting, and speaking especially to your point, where the camaraderie and the fellowship. It occurred to me, I speak to a lot of people during the week and see people, but I like to sit down and break bread and look eyeball to eyeball and have a deep discussion, a conversation of essence, I call it. And so I'm planning a monthly dinner with friends just because of what you said. Yeah.
It is so good. It's been proven, Ruth, that if you sit down and eat with people, it levels out your hormones. It actually is so healthy for children to sit down and eat dinner. It's healthy for all of us. It really is.
It really, I mean, I can see where that flows hormones. Yeah, the endorphins. As long as you like the people. And of course you're going to invite people hopefully that you like. But and that's all part of staying healthy, right?
It is. It's very important. And I don't know if anybody in your audience has ever been diagnosed with cancer or any disease. But I really want to say something about that. because this is so important, and this is something I say to everybody. Whatever medical diagnosis you get, do not receive it. Yes, you must take care of it, but do not identify with it. Once you identify with something and you become it, then you actually block your healing.
Wow.
And I see it all the time. And I see people who become cancer, they identify with it. That's all they talk about. That's all they post about. That's all they think about. They're always trying to find the next thing to cure it, this, and they really never live. The people who just don't identify with it and go about their lives and do the right things, and yes, there's things they have to do, they make it. And that is something I've seen over and over again in the last 11 years. And so I just want people to not identify with it. Yes, do what you need to do, but don't become it. Don't accept it. Don't take it on, because your body knows how to fight it, and we're not supposed to be getting sick, and the body knows how to heal itself. Just let it.
Isn't that's powerful, Venus? That's powerful. And find the ways to take care of it without obsessing over it.
Yes. And live your life. So many people do things to not die. They're not doing things to live.
Yeah. So powerful. Really powerful. Really powerful.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I know that you have something to offer and to share with our audience. Would you share what that is? It's very cool. I can't wait to download it.
If you go to my website, www.venusdemarco.org, it's a large website. There's so much information. If you go at the top and hover, you'll see things that will come down. I have all kinds of services and a shop and everything. But there's a free download for you, and it's 11 ways to detox easily, safely, and do every day, because the body detoxes every day. And then I have something very special.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. What?
Our immune system starts with, a lot of our immune system is in our gut, 80% of it. And most people have very unhealthy guts. And I have partnered up with a company called Vital Planet, which I first started using. Brenda Watson owns this company. She is she's the diva digestion woman. She is the diva of digestion. She's an amazing woman. Well, she had a company before, and then that's a whole nother story. But I started giving my dog her probiotics for pets. It's amazing. That's why I'm also doing a dog food cookbook. I have put a link up, and on this link, you follow the link. We are doing a special. If you buy 2 probiotics, whether human or pet, you get 1 for free. And the coupon code is "Why Not?" And so I think will put, and you'll put up the link for all your listeners. They click on it, go through her pet products, her human products. I take the women 55 and older. This is a great product because it also helps with the vaginal area, everything. There's also she's coming out with one that's 100. And then I will sometimes rotate to another one. There's many of them to choose from. I just go with the shelf-stable ones. It's amazing, and our gut needs to be healthy. So we have to get those good pre and probiotics in.
I love that. What's the difference between the pre and the pro? I use probiotics, but I don't have a clue what the prebiotic is.
Believe it or not, there's pre, there's pro, and there's post. So the prebiotics are the fibers that help to build and grow and keep the probiotics alive, or the healthy bacteria alive in your gut. And that's why superfoods are great. Lots of certain fibers are really good because they help to keep those probiotics alive in the gut. And remember, once you have lost your probiotics, just by taking an antibiotic, they don't come back naturally. You have to put them in. And that's why fermented foods are so good. They don't just, oh, we're going to grow back. You've killed us and we're coming back. They don't. You got to actually put them back in.
Wow. I never knew that either.
No, there's so much out there. And my dog does not have bad breath, and she does not stink because I put greens in her food, and she does Vital Planet's, it's called Vital Flora for dogs. There's even one for cats. It's amazing because I want my girl to be around for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Venus, thank you so much. What is one last, I love this. I love what you shared. I absolutely love what you shared. What is the one last piece of information that you'd like to share?
Get your butt back in the kitchen and prepare food again. And, it's not that hard because you're gonna save money, but also be grateful for your life. Like, I have a life that's better now than ever before. And I've gone through a lot, but I'm a better person for it. Be grateful, have some fun, laugh. Please don't take yourself so serious. Don't be watching the news. Don't be worried about, you're not going to get that virus that's over in China. All these things that everybody looks at every day and they freak out. Don't do that to yourself. Enjoy your life. You have no control over certain things. Get out there. Have a good time. Go paddleboarding with your dog. Get some sun. and be grateful when you have a good friend like Ruth Klein. Any of your good friends, stay in touch with them. It's very important.
I love that. Venus, you are still so amazing. I'm telling you, as time goes by, you just never cease to amaze me with how you show up in the world and how your heart is so huge to help others. I mean, you're so passionate about it and it comes through so clearly. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sure that you have made an impact on several people that are listening to this today. So thank you so much. And I will keep you posted as to when I'm going to be in Florida.
Oh, you better. Thank you so much for having me, Ruth. I love you dearly, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. I have to share with you. Let's look at some of the things that Venus was sharing. Here she was, basically a life-changing diagnosis of breast cancer, and yet did not do what conventional wisdom or conventional medicine suggested, which must have been incredibly difficult, and yet did not do the chemo, did not do the radiation, did not do the surgery. And because she went, instead of into fear, she not only went into faith, but she also went into educating herself of what was available, healing modalities, finding the doctor that she had mentioned, finding ways to cure herself through eating and through nutrition, to the point where she ended up having an incredibly successful new career. And as an esthetician, she was incredibly successful as well. And just to go over just one thing, it's hard to make changes, but this one thing I just want to share that Venus had shared also with her neighbor, it's how you start your day. First thing in the morning is so important. And rather than have the toast or the pastries or the sweets first thing in the morning, focus on recipes that are healthy, lots of greens, smoothies, nutritional supplements. Venus said lemon water, and have that all day long, and regular water, focus on fiber, greens, oatmeal, and make some movement in the morning. I think it's well thought out. If there's only one thing you're going to do, and if there are two things that you're going to do, whether you have been diagnosed with an autoimmune or cancer or thyroid. I have an underactive thyroid, for example, whatever that might be, not to identify with it, find out ways to get that working again so that the body can go into homeostasis, because that is where it is happiest and that is when it's in alignment. And I know I will tell you that I'm going to contact Venus for my thyroid and for losing weight. That's what I'm going to do, and she doesn't even know that yet. So thank you for joining Generation Why Not, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining Generation Why Not. We look forward to receiving any questions you may have, as Ruth will be answering them on this podcast. Follow Ruth.Klein on Instagram or email rklein@ruthklein.com. Until next time, a short reminder that success is driven by attitude, not age.